April 29th, 2012, Stumptown Comics Fest. Look, he's so small I can just crush him. Oh, no, I can't. He's too strong. All right, Neal, why don't you show the audience your most recent creation here? You want? It's called The Balloon.
The Balloon.
What's it really called?
It's really called Island of the Moths, the complete series, chapters 1 through 14.
Okay, so now let me ask you some questions. Now, you drew it?
I drew it. Peter
All right, now
wrote it. I drew it.
I wrote it. Okay, I'm going to pull out a random page and we're going to examine.
Okay, sounds good. All right.
All right.
That's a tip.
See?
That's a tough one.
See all these faces? Now, I understand that for some of the faces, you scrutinized your wife's family photos.
Yes. So
Are any of those specific ancestors of Marcy?
not ancestors of Marcy, co-workers of her grandfather. I think this guy might be one.
They're like working in a mine or something?
Mill. So she has this photograph that's now in our hallway that's like 2 feet, 3 feet wide of all the mill workers in this small Oregon town in like 1940, 1930 something. And it's this wonderful assortment of faces from that era, all different ages, all kind of labor-worn characters. It's a great place to go for, they're all men, which is kind of unfortunate for character study, but still a really nice resource.
So that one specifically was?
I think that one might have been, yeah.
What about this frowny face here?
No, I think that's just kind of a random mustache, bald head combination.
Okay. Now can I do another one?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so they're in the island.
Yes, they're on Chalice Island, where all the mines are.
And so tell me about, okay, we got a little photograph motif that runs throughout the book.
Mm-hmm.
And these are in white, and this is in black. What's going on there?
Oh, so, okay. So the images you see here in the photographs are printed as drawn, black ink on white paper. These darker images were drawn the same way and then reversed in Photoshop. So it takes on this kind of scratchboard appearance with this lots of heavy blackness where it was white paper, and lines wherever the light is, lines concentrated where the light is hitting things or where the lighter values are. So you have the kind of explosion back here. It's a nice, easy way of rendering lights and darks because you just fill in.
I always
black.
thought it was easy.
It's surprisingly, it's kind of a mental exercise. You have to draw everything in negative. And I would forget occasionally that I have to fill in the eyes black and the teeth black and stuff like that. But generally, I think it's very effective.
And what's going on with all these lines, parallel lines? What kind of technique is that?
I just think of it as contour lines. It has several functions here. They follow the contours of the figure, so it tells you the shape and the three-dimensional kind of form it takes. It establishes a value. It's kind of a mid-tone gray for the suit jacket that he's wearing. And it kind of represents the pattern of stitching in these old 19th century clothes.
And that's an old-timey artifact.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the old engravings, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can I
Let's do that. Oh, awesome.
I picked this page. I'm going to pick another page.
Okay. If we can answer any questions, feel free to interrupt. All right, what are we doing?
Okay,
Which one?
We get the same kind of leitmotif here going on with the photograph.
That's right, yeah. So the photograph, I don't really remember how that started. We did it, there's one on the very first page.
We had a powwow about talking about...
Did we talk about that? Using this motif throughout the whole thing?
It works for the setting.
Yeah.
I think you developed it even further than we discussed in a wonderful way.
So it starts out as a way to kind of express this, again, this old-timey 19th century kind of atmosphere of collecting these photographs. And then it's used throughout as a way to have these inset panels. And it's also used, if I can skip ahead here, specifically to access a character's perception. So here the frame borders are used to kind of show you what the character is experiencing, and his experiences here have a kind of hallucinatory quality. Here he's remembering this guy's face from a previous encounter, so the face appears in a photo border superimposed over his actual face. Later he's like looking through. Here he's kind of seeing through the floor underneath to what he's imagining.
It's a window.
Is lurking underneath that barrier.
Yeah.
So yeah, we found a lot of interesting ways to make use of this photo border.
I like how you said "we," but also look how you put it. So kind of a dynamic angle.
Oh yeah, because in this point, so here he's like,
there's action going on.
he's at a
motion.
major crisis point here. He's pursued
And this
by this
one,
guy and
golden mean.
in this violent encounter. So yeah, but to reflect his experience of being thrown off balance, will skew the panels around a little bit.
That looks good.
Thank you.
I gotta buy one of those.
You gotta.
All right, one more.
Okay. Oh great. $7.
And I know what I'm looking for.
Awesome. You want me to sign it? Sure. What's your name?
Ryan, it's a B-R-Y-O-N.
Did you have to deal with a lot of prejudice against left-handedness growing up?
No, but I like to use it as a phony kind of disadvantage.
Oh, I can't lift
Like,
that
oh.
chair. I'm too left-handed.
Not that way.
Marcy,
Not-
you have to lift it. I'm too
Not like
I'm too
weakness, but
left-handed.
like when
Money
Obama was
joke.
elected, my favorite joke was, "Finally, we have a left-handed president." What a wonderful day this is for America.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right, this page.
Thanks a
He's
lot.
only half left-handed.
He's only half. Good one.
Nice. There's a lot of wittiness here at the convention. Drawing water. Now, I remember we had a discussion about drawing water.
Right.
And I think you made a study of it, and you used different techniques. In this one, if I remember correctly,
Oh yes.
I believe you used a trick which seems like it should be outlawed. It's so ridiculously...
The trick.
It's not even art anymore.
It's merely technical craftsmanship.
It's graph paper.
It's not graph paper. You have to lay down the graph, and you have to lay it down in a specific way to get the receding in space.
So wait a minute. So it's not just a grid, but you a grid with perspective.
I believe this is a 3-point perspective drawing. So you have your horizon line about here. Here, I can't even see what I'm doing. Back here. Then you've got a vanishing point, one about here and one about here on opposite ends of the horizon. You have lines radiating out from both of those vanishing points across here. So they intersect and create effectively a grid that's rotated in 3 dimensions. So I use that as a starting point to kind of locate all these white caps for the waves and kind of how the contours of the water would interact with each other. And then the third vanishing point is down below where these towering stacks of boxes converge on to create that aerial.
Yeah, it's almost like, what do you call it, fish lens?
Fisheye. Yeah.
That is very effective, but it's all a trick.
Yeah.
You're not like in a trance, like, oh, I'm an artist, I'm going to draw some waves. But it's very much like a car mechanic building a carburetor.
Yeah. Well, yes. In the beginning, you lay down the grid as the car mechanic building the carburetor, but then you have to sort of feel the motion and the makeup of the water in order to do these shapes. The shapes are all done pretty quickly, and the little contours of the waves. So that's where the trance part comes in. It's just
So you're not against feelings as an artist. It's not just tricks. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not opposed to emotional investment as an artist. No.
All right. And now, one thing I've learned about you is that you value the images more than the words. Is that still true?
I value the images more than the words. That's a harsh way of putting it. I feel like in a graphic novel. No, I won't say.
Okay, there's a lifeboat. There's only room for either the images or the words, or else they're both gonna die.
No, I reject your false dichotomy.
Okay.
The important thing is for the words and the images to work together in an effective way. And there are times where an image can get across what needs to be gotten across without the assistance of words.
Yeah, I remember that happened a few times. You said,
yeah.
Let's get the hell. Let's get rid of these words. I'm drawing a picture instead, like the woman fainting. Even though I'm making a joke.
Did I leave out some words?
No. We discussed it, and I'm making a joke. But
yeah.
You're right that you said, well, I'm drawing a picture of her fainting, so why don't we eliminate that sentence?
Right.
And that makes total sense to me.
And there were other parts in the story where I chose what to draw based on what was not already expressed in the words. Like, the words tell you a certain amount of what's going on. So
you just go ahead and draw whatever you want and say, oh, Pete, you got to change your words because I drew what I felt like drawing.
No. So I try to think of something else to draw that will add to the overall
Are you doing an interview via iPad?
Yeah.
Hello.
That is amazing. Sorry, carry on. I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's super cool.
No problem. Regraining train of thought. Words, pictures.
Yeah, so there were a few times where you drew whatever you wanted, and you said, Pete, I'm sorry.
No, that's not what happened.
We have to change the plot.
Pete, I really wanted to draw a shark.
Actually, no sharks in here. Yeah.
So the artist Seth does this in a really interesting way with It's a Good Life If You Don't Weaken. He has whole passages where he's got text talking about like some scene from his childhood. And the images are him as an adult walking around looking at buildings. And you read it and you see in your mind what he's describing from his childhood while you look at him as an adult walking around the city. It's really pretty cool.
So I think what the lesson you're saying is that the words and images don't always have to correspond one-to-one.
I don't think they should ever correspond one-to-one.
That's redundant, a waste of someone's time.
And I might have kind of failed in that here and there in this book and actually drawn literally what was being talked about.
Is that because of pressure from me?
Thanks. Yes.
Because you know I was looking over
your
shoulder
Pete
with the stern
reading this
expression.
and like, he never draws what I write.
Never.
So I have to
Not even
draw
once.
when he writes at least a couple times or else Pete's going to...
And if he does, then he makes me change the word.
Whoa, what a deal. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That's basically how it went. Is a constant battle between words and pictures creating this book.
Excellent. All right.
There's the eyeball. Coming to a sky near you. Much, much too soon.
Thank you for your time.